Welcome to the PT Legends podcast, where co-host Dave Bess and myself, Scott Carpenter, share our journey and secrets of success. From our humble beginnings as personal training employees of a big box gym to struggling studio owners that have made every mistake in the book, to where we are now, the owners of a multi-seven-figure business operating multiple personal training studios internationally, and now coach and mentor to fitness professionals in 5 countries and counting. This is our story, and these are our secrets. Subscribe to our podcast, learn, take action, and build your own fitness empire. Welcome back to the PT Legends podcast. I am Scott.
Big Dave clocking in. And it's a special edition because I get to do the intro today.
Hey.
I don't know how many people listening out there, how many people out there listening have written a freaking book, a book. I know that I've written some pamphlets in magazines before, and that was a pain in the ass. The guy, my partner in crime, he decided not just to write one book, but 2 books. So hopefully I get these titles correctly. High ticket for CrossFit and high ticket personal training. Is that correct?
That's right.
That is
right. Yeah, I know. Just writing one book was a lot, but then like deciding to do 2 that are going to launch a month after each other, I'm like, what did I get myself into?
I think we should start today with why you're writing, because I got a little sneak peek and I have read a few of the chapters, and what's really like reading them over, like just knowing that none of this existed 2 years ago is very like, it's almost like overwhelming. When I was like reading it, I was like, oh my God, it's not just something, but it's something, and we'll get into this, that we both truly believe is going to be the future of fitness. Like 10 years from now, like this is the way that any gym owner, trainer, this is it. And just to read, and I think both of them read approximately 150 pages. So it's concise, it's to the point, but it's power packed. But I think it's a good starting point, brother. It's like, why did you feel obligated to really invest? I mean, that's where you're investing all of your time right now. If you're not on, calls with the legends, I mean, you're writing this book. Why are you writing them?
It's a giant undertaking, and it's not been easy, but it's necessary. The reason why I wrote these books is because, I started, 10 years ago, and I left Lifetime Fitness, big box gym where I was making good salary and bonus and all that kind of stuff. And then I bought a gym that was failing, and I went in, I forfeited my salary, and I was now losing $2,000 a month. And I struggled for so many years. And I had some of the worst things ever to happen. We met later, and then eventually we became partners in a location and this and that, and expanded from there. But holy shit, you saw some of the worst of the worst. When I had multiple locations, and when they were doing good, they were doing good. But when some bad stuff happened, holy shit, it was all consuming. And I was working, I was waking up at 3:45 in the morning, and then I was finishing up sessions at 8:30, and I was working Saturdays and Sundays, and I did that for months at the worst of it, and working in 2 locations. And then like a lot of that happened when I had my first kid, and it's scary. Then I've got like this wedding to pay for, this kid, and I'm just exhausted. And then my relationship is, in the shitter because I'm not present, and I'm stressed out, and I'm trying to be a father. I'm trying to be a husband, and I'm trying to get the bills paid. And, we turned things around when we really brought in high ticket coaching, like just changed the game. I mean, I recovered from that, and we did okay. And just through sheer work, right? And grit and determination and stubbornness. But the fear was always there. Like we're 1 or 2 bad things away from happening, and I'm thrust back in that position. And a lot of us feel that way. It's really hard to scale yourself out of the fitness business and then tackling multiple locations. Most people don't do it, or they'll actually lose a location or sell it or whatever it is. It's very difficult. And I overcame that. And a lot of that was because of you, Dave, and Ron and Shane and, like all those guys, all you guys helped me get through it. But it was when we joined forces and brought in and married this high ticket coaching aspects of online aspects or life coaching or this or that, when we married that into the brick and mortar fitness business in such a perfect way. Well, it took time to make it perfect, but that changed everything for us, because we know that we can turn a nozzle and we can bring in $10,000, $20,000 in a month if we really need to. It shored up all the weaknesses of the brick and mortar fitness business. And it's been no turning back. So that was huge. But the reason why I wrote the book is because we had other gym owners come to us and ask them, hey, can you help me do this in my business? Some of them were personal training. A lot of them were CrossFit models. And so we said, we'll give it a shot. And we adapted this model for CrossFit. And of course, personal training gyms, if your group, whatever it is, we figured out how you can bolt this strategy onto your existing business without changing your business model at all. And when we did that, it just changed the trajectories of these business owners' lives. I mean, massively, with no exaggeration. Within 4 to 8 weeks, some of these owners are doubling their take-home pay. And particularly with CrossFit, a lot of them don't make that much money. And they're always struggling. Like, I know what it is, that crushing pressure of personal guarantees on leases and the overhead and COVID and bullshit. Like, it's a lot. It's really a lot. And I know, because I insulated you from a decent amount of that, right? Because when you came on board as a partner later, and but I've got 4 or 5 personal guarantees out there. I'm handling all of that. I've got the stress, and I was 8 last. Everybody gets paid then. Hopefully there's enough left over for my family, right? But that level of anxiety, that level of being scared, fearful, and feeling like you're on an island by yourself, that was tough. That was tough. So when we started doing this for other owners, and particularly it was Lauren, that's when I realized how friggin' important this was. And by this time we'd worked with, I don't know, how many had we worked with before Lauren came on board?
10-ish, probably.
I think 10-ish. And they all just crushed it. Bringing in 10, 20, even over $30,000 in their first 4 weeks. Incredible results. And it's not from marketing, right? We didn't do this stupid marketing play that's going to be gone in 2 months when they change an algorithm.
Yep.
No, it's solely just changing what you do with a lead that comes in and how you treat that, and creating a transformational offer that, yes, it's expensive, but it's necessary that it's expensive for you as the owner. It's necessary for your staff so they can make a good wage and you can keep them and give them a career. And it's also necessary for the end user client. They're going to pay you $300 a month. I'll give it a shot, right? If they're paying you $3,000, I'm going to change my life. It's necessary. It's scary, but it's necessary. And, back to Lauren though, we'd worked with, like maybe 10-ish gym owners and crushed it in the results. And she's been an owner for 9 years with a CrossFit gym and just being eaten alive by it. And I don't want to share too much of her personal story, but her husband was in it and it stressed him out so much. And they've been through so much with a price increase. And then, they rebel, everybody rebelled. They had a coach leave and become a competitor, and they struggled for freaking years. And she's amazing at what she does, but not charging enough. And she's working all these hours. They're trying to raise a family. They've got young kids. And she's just like, when we talked, because we hadn't really even officially launched this as a business or anything, really. And we were talking, and she was referred by one of our legends. Like she was crying. It's just like, I have hired so many coaches and I've hired so many mentors. She's like, this has to work. I can't keep doing this year after year. It was just crushing their whole family. They felt literally trapped by their business. And like that hit me so hard because I have been trapped and I've been crushed and suffocated by my business. And I know how painful that is. And you just want to get out, but there are just no ways out because you're just in too deep on it. And like, that's when I realized like we have to make her successful. Like there are no options. This isn't about making more money and just this is so much bigger than that. It's getting freedom, like, and having freedom and not feeling like you're just a bad month away from having everything crush you, you know? So like I felt huge responsibility when I was very confident. Obviously we had the track record, this stuff worked, but you know, it's just like, we have to do this. And then God, she sold, the first one was a $2,000 one, transformation program, which 3 times a week, CrossFit for 9 weeks, plus maybe it was 12 on her. I can't remember. Plus then, you know, what she does on the coaching end, the mentoring end, right? The weekly thing. Instead of, she had a lot of nutrition clients, but she was contacting like 6 times a week and just over delivering. And these people aren't paying much. It's pulling teeth, right? And now she's getting way better results, but she sold her first one at $2,000. Then she sold 3 executives at $4,500 a piece. And I think she sold another 1 or 2 transformations, but it ended up being somewhere between $18,000 and $22,000 in her first month of learning this, not doing any marketing, not changing leads, just solely changing them. And the message, the voice message she sent to us on Facebook Messenger, Dave, like I remember being in my little office in my backyard office in my previous home and getting that message late at night in the evening. And it completely made me tear up because she was like choking back the tears and she wanted to thank us. And she was sending a thank you message. And she was just saying, for the first time in 9 years, I feel free. And it feels amazing. And like, I can almost tear up just hearing it because the waver in the voice and how it is. And she just said, I want to thank you both for having the boldness to create a program like this. And it just, for the first time, I just feel free. And that's amazing. And that like hit me so hard. And it's not about just moving the needle a little bit and making more profit, having a better impact. Those things are all important, but that is it. I know that pain of being an owner so intently that I'm like, we don't have a choice, Dave. Now we have to do this. It's our obligation to do this. As corny as that may sound, we have an obligation to do this. And I mean, you know, like with Matt, what he just told you, right?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. Like I basically knew the answer to the question before. Like you had to write these books. That's the answer. Like we live in an industry right now that is just so sour and so broken, and there's these gurus that are really good. And they have these Godfather offers that everybody knows what I'm talking about. But the bottom line is there's so many gurus out there that are promising that they have this $1 million solution. And the $1 million solution, not to sound cocky, but we found it. And it has nothing to do with marketing that you're better. We live in a world right now, and we're recording this in 2022. It's just so broken, and people just want to hear, they want to be heard, right? And that's the secret sauce to our program. And you go through all the details in the book on the how, but the meat and potatoes of it, man, is we just listen to people. And when you listen to people and you prescribe them a solution, the freedom word that you said, that's what we're all in search for.
That's it. That's why you get into business for yourself. You know, and ironically, 100%. It takes on so much risk, you know, to achieve that freedom. But it's so hard to attain it in small business. It's just so hard. You know, and what we've done has saved people from going out of business because of COVID. Like because they just haven't recovered in that volume on the large group side.
Mhm.
Like if it weren't for you guys, we would have been out of business. No questions asked. And that is awesome. And so we haven't done like, we just kind of built PT Legends because it was a necessity and help gym owners do this. And we have only grown solely through word of mouth. And it's only been the results that we've gotten that's the reason that's happened. And we haven't done marketing or anything like that. That's what this needs to get out. So people are very hesitant when they hear high ticket, because again, the guy running the infamous 6-week challenge that kind of ruined the industry for so many freaking gyms. He used that word and it has a negative connotation. And so that's everybody's apprehension. Like, thankfully, everyone's come from referrals, but it is a greasy business in the guru market. I mean, my Facebook feed, and my DMs are just filled with it. I never wanted to get into this business because of that. It just felt so slimy and awful because the shit that works is horrible, unfortunately. And that's just, we're the anti that, right? We are we just don't do that. Nobody feels good doing a bait and switch. I mean, fuck that. And that's the whole thing. You guys as personal trainers and gym owners out there, you guys are some of the hardest working, most genuine people I have ever met in my life. But this is a tough freaking industry to do well in. And we didn't start doing well until we made a Frankenstein baby and spent, $100,000 working with different systems and coaches that we couldn't get to work until we just kind of put everything together from my end and your end. And it just worked. And we got lucky with it. And then we refined it and worked really friggin' hard. But it is a tough business, guys. There are so many pitfalls. There are so many mistakes. And there's so many things that are going to make you trapped in your business and fearful. And guys, it's just, life is too short for that. You are too talented to let that happen to you. And so that is why I wrote these books. This thing has crushed it for dozens of personal trainers and gym owners. And now it is our obligation to get this out, And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm clearing out my schedule. I'm writing High Ticket for CrossFit, teaching you the techniques to bolt this onto your existing business. And I'm writing High Ticket Personal Training, teaching personal trainers, whether you rent and you're an independent contractor, or you own your own studio, or you're an employee and you need to learn how to sell better, or eventually you want to go off on your own and own your own business, which quite a few do. It's teaching you the techniques to get you started and exactly what made us successful. So I had to write these books. That's why I wrote them. And I am not a writer by trade. It's going to be, so don't expect it to be, me to be a wordsmith in here. But again, I'm keeping this thing tight. It's going to be, probably 150. Maybe it's going to be stretched to 170, 180 because I'm putting more stuff in there. But it's tight. You know how most business books would be a long blog and that's it? That's not the intent of this. There's so many gold nuggets in there. You're not going to waste an extra couple hours reading this just because I want to fluff it up to be 270 pages. That's not it. I mean, nobody's got time for that. So I get right into it.
It's one of those, I don't even know if we should be saying this on the podcast, but it's the truth. Like, you're writing this book the wrong way to make sales.
Yes.
So with a lot of your gurus out there, like they teach you, make a book, give it out there with a little bit of the stuff. Then you have to hire them for coaching, right? Yep. Like this isn't it. We're going against the grain here. Like, you're giving it all away.
Yeah.
And honestly, at the end of the day, like, it's so important. If anyone does move forward and work with us, we put that into practice, and the reps that build, the absolute champ. But you're giving it all away, man. They can take, every single chapter. If they start applying that in any way, shape, or form, it can drastically impact their business. So that's what I'm excited for the person that reads the book. We never even hear of them. And then they start taking the actions and feel free. Like that's going to be the fun part.
Absolutely. And there's a lot in there, right? There's like you said, there's a lot in there. And if you just start, putting one or two of the fundamentals into play, it's going to drastically change your business. It's going to drastically change how you feel about it, your mindset going into it.
Yep.
Guys, if you're in the fitness business, you have to be an expert. You have to be an authority. But most often we're just like appealing to our prospects and trying to just build enough value with them. So hopefully they'll hire us. We differentiate ourselves, but you got to approach it a whole different way. You need confidence, certainty, belief, conviction in your process and maintain your value. I can't tell you how many fitness professionals, I don't care if you're CrossFit or group training or semi or PT or whatever it is, you're not charging high enough rates. And now you're working way more hours. You're busy, but you're just not making that much money. And that's important because how can you grow if there's not enough money to hire somebody, if there's not enough money not to work at 5 a.m. and at 7 p.m. Because guess what? You're going to burn out. Everyone's going to get a worse service the busier you get because you're burnt out. You can't keep up with that forever and work weekends. You kidding me? I've done that. And I can't bring my A game. You can't bring your A game for anybody. So yeah, that's why I wrote it. So 2 books coming out, high ticket personal training and high ticket for CrossFit. It's just bolting on a transformational program into the business model that you do. And I mean, I'm probably going to have to do it for others too. We're working with fitness kickboxing places, even franchises, and they can't bolt it onto the front end as an option, but there's hundreds of members that are paying $99 a month to do fitness kickboxing. Well, how many of those members need more than just workouts?
Yep.
Almost all of them, and we teach you how to have that conversation to be able to sell a $3,000 transformation program on top of that. I mean, Corey did, what was it? How many did he do in his first month?
11 transformations.
Was it 11?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And most of them were at $2,000, but then a couple at 3, I think.
Half and half. He did some case studies out of the gate, built some confidence. So I think it was like 5 at 2 and 5 at 3-ish.
That's in a month. That's absurd. That's life-changing for him because he's got 2 locations and he was just like, man, I'm freaking drowning.
You do the math. And I don't know I don't have the exact number. So let's just say 20K, right? Round down. Kickboxing memberships, divide that by 99. That's 202 memberships that he would have sold.
It's equivalent of selling 202 memberships in a month. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd without clogging any capacity, right? Because that's a limiting factor. It's like, oh, we should get more space. Fuck that. Increase your overhead and pennies, and you're stuck with that no matter what happens. If COVID
nope.
No, go lean and mean, guys, and charge your worth. So anyways, these 2 books are going to explain exactly how to do that. So they will be up on Amazon shortly. You'll be able to buy them there. You can also go to coachscottcarpenter.com and you'll get the links to be able to buy the books. So head there and get them. And I can promise you, read it, start applying it. It will change your business. It will change your life. And it will help you get the impact that you need in other people's lives. It's probably the reason you got into this business in the first place. But after a while, that passion is gone because you're grinding, trying to make a living. We got to get you out of that. So yeah, go to www.coachscottcarpenter.com. You'll get the links there to get the books. And that's it, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. And I did put a lot of time and effort into it. Would love you to pick it up. I would love you to write a review on it. It'd mean the world to me. And, if I'd love you to email me at coachscottcarpenter.com. If it's helped you, if it's changed your life, it's opened your eyes in any way, this is what it means so much to me. So I'd love your feedback. Love to hear from you. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, to the PT Legends podcast. We will be on next week. We'll see you soon. Dave and myself, Scott, would love to thank you for tuning in and listening to the PT Legends podcast. You can get direct access to us by joining our free Facebook group. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/7-figure personal trainer. That's 7-figure personal trainer with the number 7. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep on learning and keep on living. Finally, if you picked up any tips whatsoever in this episode that you found helpful, be sure to leave us a review and tell us what you like best about it. Can't wait to see you on the next episode.